Hey, what up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you. I've been doing a lot of thinking today since I made my video on my TNA video unboxing, whatever it was, for the travel package that I put up today. And basically, I was talking about getting a chance to meet Sting. And not being a real big Sting fan, but giving him credit where credit is due, that he is a legend for professional wrestling. He is a big deal. And it will be cool to get to meet him, even though he's not, on my top list of favorite guys that I've ever seen wrestle in the ring. I've never really gone out of my way in order to pay-per-view in order to see this guy, but I don't think a lot of you guys have been out there as well, since this guy has really left WCW. He hasn't really had a real big impact match for TNA since his debut. I don't think anybody's been sitting there saying like, "Oh man, Sting is wrestling on Sunday on a TNA pay-per-view, and I really have to go out of my way to make sure I see this." He hasn't done anything on TV. He hasn't done anything on pay-per-view. He's just sort of been their guy. And I know that TNA uses Sting to basically keep their deal with Spike TV. He is the guy that really sealed the deal for them to go to Spike. And Spike pays a good portion of Sting's deal to make sure that he can stay in TNA and keep everybody happy all around. But it's not a news flash. It's not breaking news. It's been out there for years and years that the dream match for Sting is to see him face The Undertaker. Is the one guy that we've never really seen cross paths, and just the way of the black darkness of the Crow character for Sting, and just how the eerie of the dead man of The Undertaker. They're just two guys that have been destined on a path to have a match that we've never seen. And maybe we'll never get as close as we once did at WrestleMania 27. And maybe, WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania 31 is just too late on down the line. But basically, the things that have scared off Sting from coming to WWE are, null and void. I don't think any of his arguments really matter anymore. The biggest one that he didn't want to come over was, during the Attitude Era, just the way that Vince McMahon was promoting wrestling and what he was putting on TV as trash TV is just things that he didn't want to be a part of as big of a Christian as he is now. I think that Shawn Michaels was able to go through his career once he was a born-again Christian with Vince, and Vince knew not to cross a certain line, and basically some of the stuff that they did when they rehashed DX, where Shawn would walk out of the screen so he wouldn't be a part of it, and he could be able to tell his Christian friends that he had nothing to do with it, and maybe that Triple H just did it, not telling him what was going to happen. Whatever makes him sleep better at the end of the night. The PG era is the PG era, and every once in a while something will happen, and everybody's like, "Oh, this isn't PG anymore." But basically, Vince knows what he has to do to keep his the people that pay for the commercials and everything like that. He knows what he has to do to keep them happy. Basically to keep Mattel and Doritos and whoever else sponsors them along the way. They have to keep a squeaky clean image, and they can't do things. But maybe not the best person to point at to say, what happened was when The Rock came back for WrestleMania 27, 28, 29, they made him the biggest guy that they've ever seen. And The Rock's a huge movie star, and with him being involved in professional wrestling, it didn't hurt him at all. WWE made sure that they kept his image as big as they could make it, to where his next movie came out, it wouldn't hurt him that he was wrestling on Monday nights and on Sunday night pay-per-views and the biggest shows. They didn't hurt him at all. Basically, if you use a better person, it might not even be the best at all, because of where he stands with who's in charge of WWE now. It would be Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash came back to WWE, and he wrestled in 2011 was the year they kept on trying to push him. They kept on to have him have a big feud with CM Punk. I don't think it ever paid off. They had a couple promos here and there, and he wasn't able to pass the wellness exam or this, that, or the other. But when it came down to it, he wrestled in a damn good match against Triple H. And if that is his last real wrestling match, Kevin Nash is always going to be the guy who's always going to wrestle the spot shows here and there and make that independent money. But, for his last TV or pay-per-view match that's ever going to matter anywhere, for him to wrestle, Triple H, and it's debatable. I think that match is a good match, but I remember when a lot of the reviews came out after that a lot of people thought that match was trash. But his last real, retirement match, and Kevin Nash went out like he was the man. That was an awesome match, an awesome ending to a career. And there's no way in the world that Sting's going to come in and they're going to treat him like they treated Booker T with The Rock. And, saying, who are you? And not giving respect to him in WCW. It is well known that for years WWE has wanted to make a Sting DVD to make him look larger than life. And anything that they've done on WCW, they've made sure that Sting has looked in the best light. He's been featured on the Nitro DVDs, the Starrcade DVDs, the death of WCW, looking like he was the one star that they kept throughout the years and made him look as big as possible. Sting, if he ever did cross that line and he went to WWE, would get the benefit of wrestling one last match that really matters. There's nothing left on that table for TNA to give him. The only thing that he can do is give back to the business and maybe put over a guy like AJ Styles and wrestle that one last match. Have AJ give him that retirement match where maybe AJ's the champ, and because of that, stipulation, he can never get a title shot again for TNA. Maybe he has to put his career on the line in order to get that shot. And maybe AJ beats him. And that gives AJ a shine for one night, maybe a week. And then everybody's really going to forget about it. No one's really going to remember who made Sting retire in TNA. People are going to care about what happens on the main stage of WrestleMania and WWE. And that is why Sting has to leave and part ways and head on over to WWE. It has to happen sooner than later. Every day he's getting a day older. Every day he's not going to be able to move a little bit more. And they're not going to want him wrestling in a t-shirt on Monday Night Raw.